So we're going to talk about district grants. We want you to stop me if you have any questions. We're going to try to get everybody to understand how this works. It's not difficult. It's actually relatively easy. We have just a very small process. It's a short process, a couple of pages to fill out. Just let us know what you're doing. And the most important part is spend the money the way you say you're going to spend the money. Okay, and you have to prove that too. So, all right, we're going to go forward here. These are the 5 number 1 questions I get. These are the answers to them. Back here, where do matching grants originate? He talked about that briefly. We're going to show you another one that's a little more easy to understand. What projects can matching grants work on? Virtually anything that your club wants to do to help your local area, in your state. I mean, if you want to do some kind of statewide deal or something, that's fine. You can do that. And anywhere you see a need. What makes a club eligible? There's certain things that a club has to do to be eligible. They have to have their dues paid. That's an example. Other things we're going to talk about. What resources are available? We're going to talk about that. And then we're going to talk about how do I apply. So this is the easier thing to look at to show you where the money comes from. It comes from the annual fund. Now, as he just showed you, the annual fund is one of 3 funds. So if you give to polio, the money doesn't come back, it goes to polio. But if you give to the annual fund, in 3 years, your club's going to have access to some of that money back in your pocket. This is the breakdown, $47.50. I'm not going to talk about that much more. Applicants will be based on the following criteria. We want you, it's kind of critical that you're not guaranteed your DDF, but it's critical that you ask for your DDF the first round. This year we had to decline a couple of grants because we ran out of money. So we're going to try to get everybody that wants their money, the DDF back. We're going to try to do that. So on the first round, try not to ask for more than your DDF on this sheet. This sheet is the most important sheet in the room right now. It tells you how much money you have available, how much allocation you have, and that's what we would like for you to apply for. Later on, if we have money left, we'll notify everybody and they'll be able to apply for a different grant or another grant or an add-on grant. You can add on to, if we have money left, you can add on to the grant that you applied for and say, okay, instead of $3,000, I want $5,000, that kind of thing. We call that an add-on. We're going to talk about this in more detail. Okay, now this is where we talk about the annual fund giving and how it affects your ability to do DDF or receive DDF for this year. This is a little complex. This is the most complex slide in the entire presentation. So if your annual fund giving for your club is $0 to $50 average per member on the year that you gave, which was 23-24, is that right? In the 23-24 year, you may be able to increase your DDF $500. So if you have $1,000 and your annual giving was between 0 and 50, you might be able to ask for more than $500 more than your DDF. Same way with the next 3, $750 more, $1,500 more. And if your annual club giving was over $199, then you can possibly add $2,500. Now, we had this happen several times this year. A lot of clubs, we had some clubs ask for more than they were allotted. And we had to say, no, that's not your allotment. This is how much you have access to. But the first round, we would like for everybody that wants money to try to get money and get it back. So we want you to apply for your DDF. I don't really want you to, you can apply for more if you qualify for it and you understand how this works, and I'll be glad to explain it to anybody that doesn't understand how it works. If you want to apply for your full allocation with all your annual club giving and everything, you're welcome to do that. I just want to have enough money to do all the grants that people want to do. So I want you to apply for the amount of money in your DDF that's on this sheet right here for your club. Let's try that for the first round. And then if there's any money left, which I think there will be, for a second round, we'll notify you and you'll be able to come back and do it again if you want to.
Paul?
Yes, sir.
If you don't know your DDF, I've got sheets here for every club in the district to tell you what you have available.
Right. That's what this sheet is. This sheet is how much money you have available. And I always get that question 20 times a year. How much money do we have? No? Here we go. All right, we're not going to talk about that anymore. Now, one of the features of a successful grant, this is what everybody wants to know. What do I need to do to be successful doing this? Well, the first thing is get your first grant application in, or your grant application for your DDF amount by September 1st. These grants, district grants, have to be completed before July 1st of next year. So don't try to apply for something that's going to take you 2 years to accomplish. That's not what district grants are for. District grants are quick. They're easy, relatively easy things to do in your area, and you're going to manage it. You're going to manage them. You're going to manage the money, and you're going to prove to me where the money went, and then we're going to be able to move forward. Address immediate needs at home. So we have in Abilene, we have a big Dyess Air Force Base in Abilene, and we have a lot of people in our area that are suffering from PTSD. So in Abilene, we give the money to PTSD services. That's an example of how you can do that. Now these are the things that it supports. We're going to talk about that in more detail. Here's an example of the thing. Everybody always asks me, well, what can we do with this money? Well, here's an example of what you can do with this money. Now, this, Ryla, right here, if you've never been to Ryla, I recommend you go. It's a little bit of time out of your schedule, but you're going to get more heartwarming stories and more ideas about how Rotary works and how Rotary gives back to the community and what we do for leadership. Going to Ryla and spending a day or two at Ryla. They'll pay for your room. You don't have, all you have to do is just get there. They'll pay for your food. They'll pay for your room. You don't have to do anything but just go and watch. And if you're an adult like we are, you're a counselor. And you have 10 kids under you with another counselor. So there's a counselor at every 5 children. It's a wonderful program. We teach, Abilene sponsors an etiquette dinner on the Saturday night. We teach kids etiquette, which spoon to use, which fork to use, don't blow your nose at the table, that kind of thing, you know. So, and a lot of kids, you'd be amazed, the number of kids that have never had any kind of formal training in that. We do that, it's a lot of fun. The kids really love it, and you'll get a lot out of it if you go, I promise. Food pantries, the ones in dark in the big green square in the middle, if you apply for those and request your single DDF amount, those are going to be automatically, you're going to get those regardless of what happens. No matter who does anything else, those are automatic approvals. Food pantries, 3rd grade dictionaries, it goes back to Rotary Reads. Food pantries is talking about hunger. Shelter box is talking about disaster. Everybody know what shelter box is? Yes, okay, good. Ryla is a great support mechanism. As I said, if you've never been, you need to go. Burleson does a deal where they package 5,000 meals in an afternoon. Called the Rise Against Hunger program. And you can order this in, you can have people, all you have to do is pay for it. They'll come and help you set it up. They'll help you do the packaging. You get the volunteers together, you get your clubs together, get your club's kids together, whoever you want to have an impact on, and say, okay, we're going to feed 5,000 families today, and we're going to do it this afternoon. And this is how we're going to do it. And it's just kind of a moving program if you really want to know the truth. If you've never done one, you need to do one because they are dynamic. Now, this next question I get is what makes us eligible? Well, you have to have your dues paid, and you need a current 990. Everybody know what a 990 is? 990, if you don't know what it is, it's the tax form, IRS filing that a nonprofit has to do. 990 has to be current. It can be current as of last year. It doesn't have to be like, I don't have to have this year's, but I will need, next year I'll need this year's. The next thing that people have difficulty with is called a memorandum of understanding. MOU is what it's called. I don't know if everybody knows what that is, but it's an agreement between your club and your club president and your club foundation chair in the district that says, yes, I understand what I'm doing, and yes, I will do this correctly, and I will not go out and buy myself a new Ferrari. That's what it says. Basically, it says that in there. You have to have a memo of understanding signed by the president for sure. President-elect needs to sign that, and the foundation chair would be great if they would sign that as well. So we need some people in the club that know what's going on. We need people in the club that are gonna know what's going on next year. What did we do last year? What's going on next year? If you don't have a foundation chair and you have enough people, that would be a good thing. I'm the foundation chair for my club. I live in Abilene. You can't have any district grants that are open. So the key to this is if one of the clubs doesn't close their district grant this year, we're not going to have any district grants next year. If the district has an open district grant, we cannot get next year's money. So everything that you do in the district grant world affects everybody in the district for next year. So you need to realize that, and you need to just stay on top of getting your final reports done. Final report's a one-page thing. It's no big deal. All you have to do is say, this is what we did, this is how many people participated, and here are the receipts with the money. This is important. The stuff in the red is important because last year, John decided that we needed to have a more focused approach to district grants. Instead of 25 goals, which we encourage you to have 25 goals in your plan, but these are the required goals that you have to have. You have to show us, you have to show me that yes, our club has designated these goals as, and this is the number. You can have a goal of 0 if you want to. You just need to have designated it. So number of new members expected is a critical thing because we're trying to grow membership. Estimated number that are going to participate in service. Contributions to the annual fund. What do you expect to do this year? This is your president doing this. The upcoming president's going to go in and set these goals. If you want to do $5,000 to the annual fund, you need to put that in as a goal. It's not a requirement that you have to meet it. It's just a requirement that you have to put it in and say, okay, well, I thought about this. This is what I think our club can do. Contributing to the polio fund, same way. Polio fund, the Rotary Foundation Endowment Fund. If you think you can talk somebody, one person in your club to sign up for the endowment fund, and it's interesting, they can put it in their will. They can put it off for years. They just need to sign up and commit to say, okay, I'll give $10,000 to the Rotary Foundation in my will. And that's an example of how you can give to that. You can also give cash. Now, the number 6 one is the one people have trouble with. A rolling strategic plan. So clubs have notoriously handed off their management to new people that don't know what happened the last 2 years. And that is one of the failures of Rotary clubs, is to be able to carry on the legacy of the club and move forward. My club is 100 years old. I can't tell you what we did 30 years ago, but I can tell you what we've done over the last 10 years. So it's critical, and it's nice to have that strategic plan in place. It could be a one-page plan, so okay, these are the 5 things this club's going to do this year, and we're going to try. We did it last year. We're going to do it this year, and our next year we plan to do it this way too. Rolling strategic plan. Now, the other thing is that 2 people from your club, including one of your presidents, president-elect, has to take this training. Now, after how to make it entertaining, it's hard to do. I missed the meeting and got appointed to be grants chair, so that was a joke. Y'all people, wake up. Wake up now. I'm not that boring. Some of us are falling asleep. We need to do something about that, don't we? We need you to have regular support for the Rotary Foundation if you're going to get money back to your club. Okay, we're going to move on here. Who's got their cell phone? Pull out your cell phone and put my name and number and my email in your cell phone. Paul Thomas is my name. And I will answer your telephone call. I will return it if you leave me, if I don't answer it, leave me a message and I will return your telephone call. If you have questions, call me, email me, text me. I like text best of all. If you have a question, just let me know. I'll be glad to help you. If you need a presentation, let me know. I'll bring somebody out to present to your club about how this grant system works. Any kind of assistance you need to do this, I will provide that for you. It may not be me doing it, and after this presentation, you may not want me to do it, but we'll have somebody come do it. Somebody that knows the process intimately. The most important website for y'all is Rotary5790.org. All the forms you need, we're going to talk about them. All the forms you need are there. All the requirements that you need are there. Any of this information is there. This slide presentation is there. Any information you need. We want to make this as easy as humanly possible for you to do. Now, how many people have ever gone to the bank and not had to do some kind of paperwork to get money out of the bank? Right. Everybody has to do paperwork to withdraw money from their bank account. This is exactly like that. It's just a little more paperwork. It's not hard. It's not difficult. Don't be afraid of it. It's not hard. We'll help you through it. That's what we're here for. Now, how do you do this? This is how do we apply? This is the last question that people ask. How do I apply? Well, here's 5 steps to apply. It's not hard. You go to 5790 process, you go to the 5790 website, you go to foundation, you pull down to district grants. Okay? Then you go, there's a video there, there's an application, you fill that application out. When you fill that application out, please don't write me a novel. Write me a paragraph, 2 sentences. We're going to give food, or we're going to give scholarships to 10 students from such and such high school to go to college. Now, when you do that, the special caveat is that you got to write the check to the college. You don't write the check to the student. That's a no-no. So there are a few caveats, but not much, and we'll help you through that. You go to district grants, the next thing, so make an application, go to district grants. Now this is important, you have to sign up under my account. Now, how many people, here's a little toy, y'all. How many people in this room have more than one email? So how many people have 2 emails? How many people have 3 emails? How many people have 4 emails? Now, we're going to win a prize, so keep up with this. How many people have 5 emails?
I'm out.
How many people have 6 emails? How many people have 7 emails? Somebody in this room is an email marketer. Who is that? Who has the most emails? 7.
I have at least 7.
You and you and you.
I have at least 7.
He has at least 7. He doesn't even know how many he has. So that's going to earn him an apple. Okay, he doesn't even know how many email accounts he has. Well, I have 3 that I use almost every day, but I have about 5 email accounts. This is critical. If you don't use the email account that's in your Rotary Foundation account, we can't see you. We can't find you. You have to use the email that is in your Rotary, the one you registered in Rotary with. And that email is no longer present, like mine wasn't a few years ago, you have to go correct that. We have to be able to find you in the Rotary system, or you're not going to get any service from us. Okay, that's critical. That's probably the most critical thing you're going to learn today. Uh-oh,
Oh,
I left my clicker.
that website is what now?
That website is matchinggrants.org.
Okay, yeah. It says District 5340,
Where?
top left.
Oh, that's the people who put the website together. They did it for everybody's benefit. On Rotary5790.org, this is our foundation website, our grants website. This is the one you're going to be using the most. This is where all the forms are that you need. We're going to talk about those. You need to read the grants highlights, tell you about what's going on in the grants world, so you kind of get an idea of where we are in the process. MOU form is there. Your grants checklist is your new best friend, right? Y'all are not very much awake today. What's up with that? Y'all are supposed to come bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. No. You got to have a final report. One-page document, two or three sentences, 5 sentences, you're done. You do have to submit it to me, though. That's important. Now, a lot of people, like Abilene, for instance, we give our money to a nonprofit. And they have to give us a letter back saying, okay, this money was received and this is what it's going to be used for. It has to be a 501c3 nonprofit, registered. Cannot be Joe Blow's nonprofit. It has to be, and it cannot benefit a Rotarian or the Rotary Club. It cannot do that. And we have sample nonprofit letters on the website. Okay, I've got a mistake on this, but that should be a P number instead of a G number. This is the form you fill out to start a grant. And when you fill this out and submit it, it gives you a P number, not a G number, a P number. P number 5151. That's your grant number. And it'll put it in a list that looks like this. And you can go to matchinggrants.org, and once you get your P number, you can go in there and see it. And it will be submitted over here under status, submitted, and then you go in and mark it as pledged when you get all the money pledged for it. So you have to match your district grants dollar for dollar. If you have $1,000, you have to match $1,000 worth of cash out of your club. Can't be in kind. Yeah, Gary?
So I have a real quick question, like on your last slide. When you mentioned that the grant can't benefit Rotarian, I understand that, but like, let's just say, for example, in our club, we've got someone on the board of the All-Kind Animal Initiative. Does that disqualify us from being able to, because there's a Rotarian involved with that?
No.
All right, I just want to
You
clarify.
just can't benefit a Rotarian in person.
Okay, and that makes perfect sense. I
Right.
just wanted to make sure I understand.
So, I mean, everybody's got nonprofits in their club, the
Yeah.
presidents and marketing directors of nonprofits in their club, and that doesn't forbid them from getting a grant. It doesn't benefit them. It benefits the nonprofit that they're working
Exactly.
for.
All right.
All right. So this is what the list looks like. We had 43 on our list this year, 43 grants. We had about 37 clubs apply. Some clubs, Golden Triangle applied for 4 grants. Another club applied for 3 grants. And they just outlined them different. They're doing paperwork differently, but you don't have to do it that way. You can say, okay, these are the 3 things we're going to do with our grant money, and you can put it all in one application. We're flexible there.
What's the difference between approved and paid?
Approved is that you've asked for the money, and you've been approved for the money, and you've asked for the money. Paid is when you get the money.
Paid means you got the money.
Paid means you've been sent the money. We do all this through ACH. The form that you're going to fill out has all your banking information. You're going to send it back to me. And then I'm gonna turn around, I'm gonna hand it to Gayla because she's my spouse and she lives in the same household and she's the treasurer. We're gonna hand it to her, I'm gonna say, here, this is authorized to pay. And the next time she pays bills, she's gonna go in and pay you. It usually happens about once a week. Yes, ma'am?
What's the time frame, like, with approved and getting a check, like we're presenting a check to the nonprofit?
Okay, that's a very good question, by the way. After all the first round grants come in, we know how much money we're gonna get for all practical purposes. By the time we're doing this in September, we know how much money we're allocated. On this sheet, it shows that it's $92,142. It's gonna be a little bit more than that because they don't give us our profits out of the Rotary Foundation until the very end. But by September 1st, we're gonna know basically how much money we have. But we have to have the first round of grants in before we can actually ask for the money. So I have to go in and ask for the money from Rotary. And we have to get that money and this happens in November, normally. So we don't get the money in the district until sometime in November, generally. Okay. So that's how it works. So say we apply out of this this $94,000 that we're gonna get, we apply for $50,000. Y'all apply for $50,000. We're gonna beef up the rest of it. We're gonna ask for the full amount, whatever that is, but we need a list of grants to say, okay, these are the ones we're gonna do first, and then we've got others we're gonna come do later. And the Rotary Foundation understands how that works. They'll send us all the money. These are the 3 forms you need. This is where you upload them. You go, the description is where your application is, under description tab. Financing is where you put in the part about the money. We're gonna put up 1,000, we're gonna ask for 1,000. Documents is where you upload the documents that I need. 990, I need your MOU that's been signed by your district, by your club president and club president-elect and foundation chair. And then I need for you to prove to me that you've set your goals for the year. So you can go into your club runner and say, okay, here's my goals for the year. You can take a snapshot of that and put it up here. If you have those 3 things and they're all signed like they're supposed to be, you're going to get approved for your grant, pretty much. Now, you can, when you upload a file, you can restrict the access with a password. Really don't like for you to do this because it makes it difficult for everybody. So what we recommend is you don't put any sensitive information up here. If you put a bank statement up here, mark out the bank account number. If you put any kind of other information that is sensitive to your club, checks, black out the bank account number. Anything like that. You're going to need to upload those things. When you write a check, I'm going to need to be able to see it, that it cleared the bank, see the bank statement, that where it cleared the bank. Those are the 2 things that we have to have. We need y'all to prove that, yes, we spent the money we said we're going to spend in the way we spent it. Some clubs will do this. Some clubs felt like they got, one of the clubs, I don't know which one it was, felt like they got hacked because they put their information up on this site. Well, this site's actually relatively secure. You have to have a login to get in, but we don't want you to put any sensitive information up here. Now, when it comes time for you to request your funds, sometime in November, October, November, you'll send me an email. That's why I wanted you to put my email in your phone, because if you need to request your funds, you're going to send me an email saying, I need to request my funds, and I'm going to send you, you're going to have a form. You're going to have a form that we're going to see in just a minute to fill out and have your president sign, yes, we're requesting our funds. And you're going to send that form to me after it's been signed. And I'm going to, if it's proper and the numbers are correct, I'm going to sign it and I'm going to hand it to Gayla and say, here, this is ready to pay. So these are the forms. This is an example. This is the form you use to request your funds, the last one here. So this is the 4-step process. Put in an application, put in your 990, set your goals, and after it's approved, send me a form. Then it'll get in the list and we'll send me a form and we'll get it paid. Easy, easy peasy. It's not hard. Is there anybody in this room that's afraid of this process? It's okay to admit it. Okay. That was a joke too. You people. Okay, here's the grant final report form. Now this is the end of the grant. Once you do it, you're gonna go in, you're gonna say, okay, we did this, you're gonna give me a sentence or two about that, you're gonna give me a sentence or two about what the people did with the money. You're gonna fill this form out and how many Rotarians participated in this and how many Rotarians volunteer for that organization and all kinds of things like that, but it's whatever, it's a one-page form. It's not hard. Okay. We want you to use the checklist. There's a checklist there. It's easy to read, 4 steps. Now, when you file your final report, we need copies of your invoices, we need copies of your checks, we need copies of your bank statements where the money cleared the bank. Okay. These are the 11 things that you need to make sure you do, kind of pretty much what's on the checklist. Now, this term says guaranteed. In this process, there are no guarantees. So we spent all our money by November 1st of last year. We had 2 grants come in after that requesting their DDF. Sorry, no more DDF left. You need to have your application in by September 1st. Everybody pull out your phone, put that on their calendar. September 1st. Put it on your calendar, September 1st. Rotary grant application. Rotary grant P number. Say, I'll need a P number by September 1st. All right. Past lessons learned. First deadline, September 1st. I can't beat that into your heads hard enough. Clear and concise on your grant goals. On your grant, what's this grant for? 2 sentences. What's this grant for? What's the money going to be used for? Create and promote lasting change, partnerships. We want you to partner with people in your community. That's important. It's incredibly important. It's important for your public image. It's important for your goals as a Rotarian and as a Rotary Club. Very important. Promote your grant. I talk about our grants. See this button right here? This button, 15 years old. I was at a gun show yesterday. Lady walked up and handed me $1. I said, what's this for? She said, well, your button says give me $1. So this is the end of polio. This button was created 15 years ago, but it works. She walked up to me and handed me $1 and said, this is for you. And I said, okay, well, that's great. I'll get it where it goes. Be good stewards of the money. Get your grant finished on time. Get your paperwork in. Those are the important things. This is my phone number again. I can't give it to you enough. You can find me on the internet if you want to. You can call the police in Abilene. They know me.
That's a joke.
That was a joke. Yeah, it was. Yeah. Very good.
We're getting better.
Any questions? Yes, sir.
I'm trying to tie this back to the slide there. So on here, what year is this number for? This
is
my
for
number from
24,
years ago?
23, 24?
Well, originally, but it's for your year.
This will be for my year.
The money's coming from your gifts in 23, 24 though. And that's the amount of money you have in your district designated funds, CDF, for your club.
So it's pretty poor that means 3 years ago, my organization didn't do very well.
That's right. Exactly, and that happens. COVID was horrible on this process. Yes, Dan?
So our club wants to give a scholarship to a university student, and we don't know where to send it or what university we're going to send it to. July, what do we do?
You get a canceled check after you send it to them and you file your final report and say this is where we...
But the deadline is
July 1st, that's right. Yeah, I'm going to come see you if you do that to me. If you make me wait that long, I'm not going to be happy about that, Dan. I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to be happy about
I
that.
know you're not, because I was in that same position when I was district grant chair.
Yeah,
I told people this.
and we have problems with
Give that
that.
money to a university foundation, okay, or to the school foundation, and let them give the money to the universities at the time.
Yeah, but you can send it to the university's foundation and say, this is for John Doe. He's going to start school next year. We had other questions. Anybody? That lady in the back had a question.
I was stretching, sorry.
You were stretching? Okay, everybody stretch. Okay. Yes, sir.
Using the sheet here, and Abilene 1762, for example, it says DDF funds are 2420. And 50% of that to global is 1210, 50% of that to district. So does that mean that club could do a district or global grant project for 2420, 2,420?
No, no.
Please explain.
That's the district grant designated funds. That's the district grant. That's what your club wants to use locally.
So that 2,420 would be for local district grant project.
Half of that would be for a district grant.
No, that's their half. The 2420 is what your club has to spend, and you have to match that dollar for dollar,
Okay.
cash.
So if we did a district global, we'd have to come up with 1210, and then a district matching would be another 1210.
Yeah, your total was 2,500.
That's right. So it's
Half of
you're
that
right.
can be used for district, and half of that can be used or designated.
For global.
Okay. Okay.
That's kind of a typo on here. Yeah. So the column that you're interested in as a club is the last column, 1210. Sorry. This is a little confusing. You're right.
It's as clear as mud sometimes.
I didn't notice that till just now. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. And it's your fault. It's his fault. Yes, ma'am.
So our club just wrapped a multi-year global. So I
Okay.
know we're not going to do a global next year. Can we go ahead and ask by September for the district, the DDF plus the global just for our district? If we know we're gonna reallocate?
You can't, unless you're buying something specific for that global grant, you can't use district designated funds for a global grant. That's a special process.
No, I wanna use the opposite of what you said. I wanna use international funds for DDF.
No, you have a district amount and you have a global amount.
Okay,
You have to allocate the global money to a global grant that's been approved.
okay. I thought at the beginning you said we could move that, so I misunderstood.
You just have to allocate it to an approved process, approved project, global money.
Got it.
And you need to have a grant that you're doing yourself, district grant to do your district money. So those are separate pots of money, separate things. Any other questions? Yes.
I have a question, I don't know if it's a stupid question or not, but this year-to-date money, you had mentioned that is that year-to-date, like what we actually have in that fund today, or is this what we
Yeah.
had 3 years
Who
ago?
put that together? Dan, did you do that?
Yeah,
You did?
I did.
It's your fault.
Well, it's right.
Why- What does the year-to-date money mean? What does the year-to-date column mean?
Well, the original report, you download
Okay,
Excel.
okay.
Okay, that is the final column.
For,
So that is the amount of money that's allocated for the whole year. So if the column you have January, February, March, April, May, June, July.
yes,
Total.
yes,
Then, okay?
okay.
So that is the total amount of money.
That came in
that went in, and then 95% of that, they
Okay.
take out the 5%. And then they send back 47.5% to our district, and 47.5% goes to the World Fund.
I see.
Okay?
I understand that, but I guess my question is how do we find out how much our members are donating today? Like how much have
So
we
you can
donated?
go on the grant, the My Rotary website and look that up.
Above recognition summary.
There's a summary in there, and you can see what every person in your club has donated. It's allocated to them. You got a little search to get there, but you can get there. Yes, ma'am? Yes, sir?
In my Rotary, it's the shared contribution.
Share contribution
Well,
report.
they won't have, the club will have that.
No, the foundation person or the president in your club will have access.
And this report is part of this.
Okay. Now we have that straight. Dan is the foundation chair, by the way. He's the, whatever, what is it called? What are you?
Assistant Regional Rotary Foundation Coordinator.
Yeah, he's a coordinator. He's up the ladder from all of us. Yes.
Where does this money come from again? Is it just from the members?
Annual fund giving. It's called annual fund, and it's the amount of money your club gives to the annual fund 3 years ago.
It's in the club. Is it from the members or is it fundraising or is it money comes from?
All of it. The club, members, yeah. So I give $10 a month, and it registers on the Rotary Foundation that Paul Thomas gave $10 a month to the annual fund, and that shows up in your reports, your club's reports. As long as I'm in the right club. Yes, sir.
Well, I found out just this year, I've been using the club, the reports you can get to my Rotary for club reports.
Okay.
There are other reports you can ask for. Is there a place where we can find out what we can ask for? Because I found a report that I wish I'd had 5 years ago, but you can only get it if you send in a ticket on the Contact My Rotary, and then there's a report available.
That's above my head.
Okay, anywhere?
Anybody? I've never requested a special report. I don't know. Oh, the question was, is there a place that you can get a list of special reports you can ask for on My Rotary or Rotary Foundation?
When you get access, you won't have access as the president until July 1st. You can have access if you go to the president, or your secretary, or your foundation chair, or your secretary, or your membership chair, and they can access these reports, but they're club reports on membership, foundation, a number of different reports that you can access.
I see.
My question, I've been foundation chair in a club for, I think, 7 years now. And I knew about the reports you can get off of My Rotary.
Yeah.
But I found out just this year, you can special request some reports by turning in a support ticket.
Yes.
And a report that I wish I'd had 7 years ago is available, but I didn't know it was available. So is there any resource where we can say, well, you can ask for this report?
No, you just kind of have to know if there's something you want available, you can contact somebody like me, or you got to contact the Rotary Foundation. At the club level, the club recognition summary tells you about the most you can get on what people are getting. They don't, Rotary's very careful about disseminating the actual dollar amounts that people are getting. And at a certain level, you can access that.
Is that boring?
So, but it's a tough topic. It's got to be.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
So it could have been.
It's very frustrating because you don't know when you look at that club recognition summary.
If you were talking to the bank,
Share.
if you were talking to bankers,
But you don't know what the contribution was before that, so you don't know what the breakdown is between share and folio. So it is frustrating.
The information's out there, you just gotta find out the way to ask for it. But they do a tremendous job of putting good information out there. Yes, sir.
Do Polio Plus contributions count towards this? It's just the shares?
Just the annual fund shares, what it's called, AFS.
The
And
Polio
was-
Plus applies to your total giving, but that's not what comes back as DDF. Okay, good stuff. Thanks, Paul. One point that Paul made, I want to reiterate. We approved 37 clubs for district designated funds for district grants this year. We did most of that back in September. We have 61 clubs in our district. That's a lot of clubs that didn't apply for district grant. As a PE, you should make sure your club is applying for the district grant. It's money your members gave 3 years ago, and it's money that's available to you. And like Paul said, if you apply in September and you're within the amount that your club gave, you're going to get approved. And what happened was we didn't use up all our money, so how many other clubs, 6 or 8 more clubs came back and got your money from the clubs that didn't apply? Because we're going to allocate all the funds, and when clubs don't apply, we're going to use it for another club's needs. Yes, ma'am.
Say you apply for it, get approved, get the check, and then is there a length of time to use it? Like if there's a.
Well, you have to
delay
close it
on
out
the
by the end of the Rotary year.
By the end of the road.
Yeah.
There's a delay on the other side, like if people were giving it to and they can't.
I understand, but you gotta get a final report into Paul by June.
And if you don't, I'm gonna send my collector to see you.
Okay.
Yeah, person, yeah, no, not him, no.
No.
He's too harsh. We don't send him out. But I will come see you personally if you don't get this done by July, so I can get it taken care of.
Was
before
that one a
July.
joke?
Huh?
Was that one a joke?
No, that was not a joke.
So shame on you if you don't use your club's money for a project in your local area.
How do you know, or how do you apply for the, so if you did get approved in September's batch, how do you know that there's more to get?
How do you know what?
After you get approved in September, or your sector gets
Right.
approved, and you wait, and there's funds left, how do you know that? How am I supposed to know that?
Do you send
We
out
send out
something?
emails.
Send out an email letting people know.
I send out emails to everybody that's on the trained list.
So you'll know, and if we don't use it all up in September, you can try for more.
With the new application, or I can amend my.
Amend. So we had a club do that this year. They wanted a total of $8,000, but they were only entitled to about $5,000, so that's all they got. But they put in an application. September, they came back and said, okay, we want $5,000 on top of the $3,000 we asked for. I said, well, you don't have that much allocation, but we'll send you what you have. So we sent them $5,000. Their DDF was only 5,000 less 25, about 2,500. They actually applied and got the advanced amount, but we don't want y'all to try to do that the first round this year because we want everybody to get happy. Please. All right. We want happy, happy, happy.
The other point is you don't have to scribble down all this information. Every one of you that signed in will get a copy of all the slides that are shown this morning. Okay?